We're continuing on the fast scrolls guide. We're going through the fast scrolls, doing our gear list recommendations, talking about in the survival section in the year of the Lord 2025. We're going through. We're talking about our notes for how you were intended to interpret the scrolls. So we're reading through this gear list. We just covered sweatpants, and now we're on to a secondary long sleeve shirt with a hood. Again, the reason why you want this kind of shirt, it's quick drying, it's ultra lightweight. You can layer them together for warmth, or in the summer you can roll up your sleeves and that will give you a normal summer t-shirt. So it's a super versatile long sleeve shirt with a hood. Very nice. The next piece of item of gear that you're going to want is a little canteen mess kit or canteen cook set. This canteen cook set, it's got almost everything that you need to cook with. It's got a little stove that's powered by twigs. It makes soap. If you read the scrolls, you find that out. Um, there's a cup to cook your coffee in, a cup you cook your food in, and to do everything in. And then there's a little canteen so that you can have something to drink out of as well. That all fits into one little canteen, and all that it's missing is the next couple items, which is a metal spork to eat with and a metal scrubber to clean out that little canteen because it's kind of hard to clean with just a cloth. Um, the next item is called a ferro rod. That's Ferro, and that basically makes spark, and it's spark since it's for making fire in an emergency. You should probably get one of those. It's only $3. How can you if you think about it this way with this gear list, like how could you live in this world and not pay $3 for a thing that makes infinite fire? Like you understand that fire is necessary for survival in a rough situation, right? So how could you not have this when it's $3? So everything on this gear list is super important to have in your backpack. The next thing is a wire saw. It's a wire that you can saw through wood with. I've had pretty good success with these, but the problem is the handles keep breaking. So I'm having to look for a brand with stronger handles, and when I find that, I'm going to put that in the scrolls. But for now, be aware that these break very easily. But it's not the wire that breaks; it's the cheap handle. The next thing you want in your backpack is a sealed package of beef jerky and trail mix. Now, I in my guide it says to combine these. I no longer recommend that, so I'm going to be changing that soon. But essentially, you want to keep them separate. You have a bag of unopened beef jerky, large, a bag of unopened trail mix, large, and this is a very cheap meal that you can count on to feed you in an emergency, and it's just tucked away in your backpack, right? If you can't afford the beef jerky, then go for like canned tuna. That's a good emergency food. The next thing is called a shovel knife. Now, where you live, you might not be allowed to carry a shovel knife. That's okay. You can carry a separate shovel, and if you require a cutting tool where you live, then you can look up your local municipality's laws for cutting tools. You may only be able to carry a small shovel, and that's okay. Where I live, as far as I understand, they're not too worried about if you're carrying a shovel knife, even if it's technically longer than the legal restriction. As long as you're not waving it around the city, the people around here really don't care. It's kind of a hillbilly type of situation. So it is what it is. I might get in trouble for carrying a longer blade at the bottom of my backpack, but So you got the shovel knife. Then you got another knife. Once again, this might not be illegal where you live, but the Swiss Army knife has got a little pair of scissors that's really good for trimming up your hair and keeping your hair short and clean. I know my hair doesn't look very good right now, but that's because I haven't trimmed it in a long time. But you take those scissors and you trim your hair. It takes about 30 minutes for the beard. It takes about 30 minutes for the head hair. And once you get good at doing that, Bob's your uncle, right? You can trim your hair with it. Then you got the speed stick. This is pun intended. It's just deodorant. You want to get some deodorant because you're not going to smell as good on the go. Now, part of what I've learned is that there's certain plants that smell really good, so you can take plants and rub them up against you, and that'll be cheap deodorant. So I'm going to investigate that because that's going to save me a lot of money just rubbing plants on myself that smell good. But for now, the deodorant is on there, right? Um, the next one is you probably want some Tide laundry detergent. Even though there's a way to get soap for free, it's pretty good to get, like, not even necessarily Tide. It doesn't have to be Tide, but you want some kind of liquid laundry soap just because it's super convenient. It works extra well at getting gunk out of your clothing and off your skin. Not off your skin, but off your clothing. So Tide, very excellent thing. You don't want to carry this in your go bag, but if you're leaving out of your go bag, wherever you happen to be at, you generally want to get a thing of Tide to tide you over, right? Um, the next thing is a wearable tarp. So there's this tarp. There's something called a tarp tent. It's like an ultra minimal type of tent that really only protects you from rain above and nothing else. And the tarp tent is super minimal. And there's a version of the tarp tent that you can wear as a poncho, so it's your rain gear and it's your shelter. So it's super good, super lightweight, super cheap. Everything on this list is very cheap as starter gear, very easy to get into. The next thing the last thing is a headlamp, and the headlamp is for general light requirements. You want to just get a cheap one when you just get started, and you want to get one that can charge with the same charger as your phone. And that headlamp is just going to really improve your ability to see at night, which is super important if you're going to be living on the street. You want to avoid living on the street. We're going to find that out as we go reading these scrolls. So let's continue. So we read the survival gear section, gear recommendations. The next section is watching clothes on the go. This section is pretty self-explanatory, right? It shows you how to wash your clothes out of a plastic bag with laundry soap. Pretty simple, right? If you have a plastic bag, and if you have water, and if you have laundry soap, you can pretty quickly learn how to wash your clothes on the go. It's that simple. There's not a lot of thinking that goes into that. You need to know how to do this. You don't have to do this all the time, but you need to know how to do this if you're gonna say that, oh, I'm prepared for anything. Well, if you're not prepared to wash your clothes, then you're not prepared for everything, right? Drying your clothes on the go is pretty self-explanatory. Maybe I should add that in. But obviously, if you're gonna dry your clothes, you're just gonna hang them up in the sun, right? So there's soap on the go. So wood ashes can be used as soap. There's oil on your skin. That oil gets in your clothing. So whenever you mix the white part of wood ashes with that oil on your skin or in your clothing, it instantly makes a very strong soap. It's so strong that it can burn you, right? So how do you fix that? Only use a small amount. You don't need a lot of this wood ash. You really don't need much. It's so strong you only need a little bit, and it completely strips all the oil out of your clothing and makes it smell a lot better, and strips all the oil off your skin so you're squeaky clean, and it strips all the oil off of your pots and pans as well, so you can clean pretty much anything with wood ash. But it just can burn you, so you need to use just a small amount and basically try to stick to the white part of the ash and not the black part, especially if it's all black. That's the idea. That's what this section is for, is to teach you, hey, with that little wood stove that we had in the gear recommendations, now you can make soap if you really need to, right? Um, so the next step is shaving. So for someone who's basic like me, I'm probably gonna have to either keep using my scissors, or I'm gonna have to get a electric shaver. They make these little travel electric shavers that are really good, that charge with your phone charger. But basically, yeah, you need an electric shaver. Now, is it possible to shave with a knife? Yes. My site shows you how to do that. Now, the actual knife shaving video has been cut short. I cannot find the full video, so I apologize. During the beginning of his video, he has a bunch of safety. Oh, I gotta cut the video short.